Hi guys, this is George back here with another video and welcome to the second episode here working on the World's Fair Park, the brand new series in Planet Coaster on the channel, where as you can see I am working on the park's first roller coaster. This is a B&M family inverted coaster. So of course there aren't many of these around. B&M aren't typically known for family coasters. However, in recent years they have started to go more down the family route with some of their coasters. Of course, you look back to 2023, we had Mandrill Mayhem open at Chessington, a family thrill wing coaster. We also had a family thrill wing coaster open at Legoland Germany last year as well. And then for 2024, we've got Phoenix Rising opening at Busch Gardens Tampa, which is one of these family inverted coasters. And we've also got Penguin Trek opening at SeaWorld Orlando, which is a family launch coaster. So they are starting to go down more of a family market. There are a couple of these family inverted coasters in China that opened a few years ago. However, they're not really very well known for family coasters. So there's not many of these out there. However, I can definitely see a lot of these getting built. This layout I ended up spending quite a lot of time working on to make sure it was exactly how I wanted it. Some parts I did on camera, some parts I did off camera, but I spent overall probably about 25, 30 minutes on this roller coaster, which for a small family coaster, it was longer than I was expecting it to take. I was expecting to have it done quite quickly with it, not even having a particularly long layout. However, I did end up doing quite a lot of work changing things around, and because there was just I'd build one bit and then decide I didn't like it. It's like that overbank after the first drop. I decided, you know what, I think that might be too thrilling for what this coaster is going to achieve. So I end up changing that a bit. But here we go. It gets to this point here where I start to think, what do I do here? And I end up putting a helix in, which I don't like. Here we go. I'm just looking at it here now, thinking I'm not so sure about that. And I think it's about now where I go back and here we go. You can see me adding a bit more of that helix in. About to go around into another helix, and then I thought, you know what, this layout's repeating itself a bit. I'm not so sure about this. So I go back and start again from the overbank. Here we go. So yeah, it did take some time just making sure this was exactly how I wanted. Here we go. You can see that I've just got rid of the overbank there as well. I decided that was a bit too thrilling and I wanted to go with something that was a little bit more family friendly. So here we go, you can see there's kind of swooping upwards at the moment, taking up quite a lot of space though. So there we go, I go back and reprofile it a little bit. So there we go, in terms of what this coaster is going to be themed to, it is in the Greece area of the park. So in this episode, you're going to see all of the work that I do for Greece. Some parts of it I do off camera, some parts I do on camera. I may return to this area, maybe add a bit more in. It depends on whether I have any new ideas because I started putting some Greek ruins in. So this is a bit of a mix of it's like a Greek town, but you've also got quite a lot of different Greek ruins around which you can go and see. So yeah, maybe I'll add more in. However, I'm not so sure at the moment because I felt like it was starting to get a bit repetitive. But if I have any new ideas, then maybe I'll go back to this area. So this coaster is going to be themed to the god of fire, which is of course Prometheus. So that's what the coaster is called. It's called Prometheus. It's themed to the Greek god of fire, and you're going to see a couple of fire effects go in later. In fact, I can't remember if I did that off camera or on camera. But either way, it does have some fire effects. You'll also see a POV of this coaster at the end of the episode once all the theming's been completed. So as much as I don't put in all the theming on camera, you will see the finished area at the end of the episode. Here we go. You can see me putting the brake run in just there. Yeah, it was this point that I was kind of struggling to decide what I wanted to do with because I didn't want it to have a really long, drawn out kind of turn into the brake run. But there we go. You can see the layouts currently a full circuit. However, I may go back. Well, I definitely know I changed it a bit. However, I'm not entirely sure when I do. At first, I settled with this layout and I think, you know what, that turn is just too drawn out into the brake run. So I ended up changing it a little bit. There we go. You can see me smoothing out the ride just there. I do some more work on the banking of this off camera as well, because of course you can see that the banking's not very steep after I've gone and smoothed it. That's the problem with using the smooth all tool. It does actually change the banking and the height of some of the elements quite a lot. So I do go back and sort that out. There we go. So I'm just changing the colours to this now. There we go. So you can see we've got a yellow and orange colour going in there. I did originally want it to be white and blue because originally I did have a different idea with the theme I wanted to go for. But then I decided actually, do you know what? I want to go with a bit of a different theme. I was originally going to go with the theme of Hermes. However, then I decided no, I want to go with Prometheus instead. And then I changed it to a yellow and orange colour scheme. There we go. You can see me building the pathway just around here now. And then I decided, you know what, it gets too close to the coast and it's taken too many supports out. So I ended up making it so it turns around just before the overbank. You can see it's just removing all the supports there, as you can see. And I'm like, no, it's too much of track that isn't supported. It's not realistic. So I ended up changing that slightly. And you can see it's going to turn around to the right now. Here we go. At this point, I was just kind of looking at different inspiration for what I wanted to do, having a bit of a think about what I wanted to do, what color scheme I wanted to go with, and what Greek god I wanted to theme it to. I knew I wanted to theme it to a Greek god, however, I hadn't quite decided by that point which one I wanted to theme it to. I had decided by this point, and I thought, you know what, I want to go with Prometheus, the god of fire. We can put some fire effects around, and it'll look really good. So you'll see that that happens later. I was just doing some research on Prometheus at that point to get an idea for some theming that I could put around the ride. There you go. You can see the entrance for the area now starting to go in. So the entrance of the area is a bit of a Greek ruin that you walk underneath. I do end up moving the entrance because I feel like the coaster is kind of outside of the area. So I do move the entrance sign, which you'll see later on. There we go. So you'll walk under this archway just here. Well, not really an archway. Look, don't even know. Just looking, I can't remember. Here we go. I'm looking for a sign now. Yeah, these custom signs in Planet Coaster are really annoying because they don't really fill the space very much. But there we go. You can see this one is going in just here. It doesn't. It's a bit too bright and neon. However, at least it was a decent size and it took up lots of the space there. But yeah, as you can see, the coaster itself is kind of. It looks like it's almost outside of the area. So I do end up moving the entrance sign to before the path turns to the right, which you'll see later on. And there is going to be another ride going in shortly as well. There's going to be a Starflyer going. Here we go. You can see that going in just here. We've got a massive Starflyer going in here. Unfortunately, there is that big King Coaster at the top of it. However, that's just something that's in the game. You can't do anything about that, unfortunately. However, you can see that this ride is going to be called Apollo, themed to, of course, the god of the sun, which I thought worked really well because it's got that kind of thing in the floor that looks like a sun. So I thought, perfect, theme it to Apollo, and it sounds really cool. There we go. You can see the queue line going in there now. Yeah, I do wish I could take that King Coaster off the top because it doesn't really work with the area. But here we go. You can see that quite a lot of work has now been done on the area. We've got some landscaping around. We've got some buildings. I'm currently putting the queue for Prometheus through this kind of Greek abandoned temple kind of thing. So part of the queue will go through there. And you'll see that I'm going to put some vines on the side and then some different scenery items on the inside. There's lots of cogs in here, lots of kind of carvings into the wall, which you'll see go in. Just lowering the roof down a bit as well, so it didn't feel like the roof was too high. But here we go. You can see some of these different carvings going in. So yeah, and then after this, you're going to see lots more of the trees going in. But yeah, there's quite a few buildings going around here. There we go. We got some cogs going in there. Yeah, I did want to add one of these kind of statues in there but then there wasn't enough space, so I ended up putting it out here instead. There we go. So you've got all of these different pieces where you can build statue. So you've got this just outside the entrance here for Prometheus. So yeah, you can see a couple of different buildings have gone in now, and you can see the station for Prometheus currently, well, looks like that. I do end up changing it because I thought, you know what? I feel like I want to have the station as another Greek ruin. You can see just by the first drop there is a Greek ruin over there, and I decided I wanted the station to be a bit like that as well. So you'll see that that changes later on as well, and I end up moving that building to somewhere else in the area. So you can see loads of different cogs just going in there, giving it that kind of abandoned look as if something was happening in there once. And then in goes the false roof. There we go. That one's done. Now just putting in the actual roof. So yeah, this also acts as a food stand as well, this temple. And there we go. You can see some of the vines going in just here now, making it look much more abandoned. There we go. More trees going in here, just filling up the space. If you're wondering why there's a gap in that other building, by the way, that shop that's in the temple was originally there. However, then I moved it. I end up putting another facility in there. I can't remember what I put. We've got, I think it's a staff building I put in there actually. Of course, there isn't a staff building yet, but that does go in there. Here we go, just putting lots of trees around. And there will be some rock work going in as well. Most of the rocks and trees I put in off camera because it's not the most exciting thing to watch. But I do think it looks quite good by the end. Yeah, as I said, I may come back to this area if I have any more ideas. Yeah, I end up moving the station building for Prometheus, just where those trees are and where this hill's going in now is in front of the hill. And then I end up making the station a different building, which you'll see go in. Or you'll see that at the end at least. And here we go, we've got a bridge going over the water just here, which is going to lead into the next area, which I'll be building in the next episode. And there'll be another coaster going in there. And this next area isn't going to be themed to a country, it's going to be themed to a continent. So there we go, there's a bit of a hint as to what's coming. There we go, just marking out the pathways for where everything's going. There we go. So you can see a lot more has happened now. All of the rocks and the trees are in, more buildings. You can see the station for Prometheus is different. And here's a bit of an overview of the completed area. And then you're about to see a POV of Prometheus. And that brings me to the end of the episode here. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at George Kelly and follow me on Twitter at George Kelly. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, everyone, and I will see you all later. Bye.